The year is 1620. The Atlantic is furious. You are standing on the deck of a small wooden ship called the Mayflower. The wind tears at your clothes. The waves rise higher than the masts. Below deck, 102 passengers clutch their children and pray. They have been at sea for 65 days. They have survived storms before. But this one is different. A main beam cracks. In real history, a passenger named William Bradford recorded the moment in his diary. The beam was repaired with a house-lifting screw one of the colonists had brought from Holland. The ship held. The Mayflower reached Cape Cod on November 9th, 1620. But what if the beam had not held? What if the Mayflower had gone down somewhere in the middle of the North Atlantic, taking with it 102 passengers, the Mayflower Compact, and the founding myth of an entire nation? The immediate loss would have been devastating. Among the dead, William Bradford, who would become governor of Plymouth Colony 30 times. Miles Standish, the military leader who kept the colony alive through its first brutal winter. William Brewster, the elder who held the congregation together through years of exile. But death is not the most important consequence here. The Mayflower Compact, signed on November 11, 1620, before a single passenger set foot on shore, was the first document of self-governance in the New World. It declared that the colonists would create just and equal laws for the general good of the colony. Historians like John Quincy Adams would later call it the foundation of American democracy itself. No ship, no compact. Without Plymouth Colony, the Puritan migration of the 1630s loses its anchor. John Winthrop still arrives in 1630 with the Massachusetts Bay Colony. But Winthrop's vision of a city upon a hill had always drawn strength from the idea that others had already survived, that God had already blessed this land. Remove Plymouth, and the psychological foundation of that vision cracks like the Mayflower's beam. The relationship between the English settlers and the Wampanoag people changes completely. In the real timeline, Squanto, a Wampanoag man who had been enslaved, transported to England and returned, taught the Pilgrims to plant corn and broker peace with Chief Massasoit. That peace lasted 50 years. Without Plymouth, Squanto's knowledge is never shared. The first contact in this region becomes a different story entirely. And then there is the question of who fills the void. The Dutch were already in the region. New Amsterdam, modern New York, was established in 1626. Without a strong English presence in New England, the Dutch expand north. The French push south from Quebec. The English foothold in America becomes smaller, more fragile, more contested. By the time of the American Revolution, the geography of North America looks different. The language of independence sounds different. The documents that inspire it draw from different wells. Your world today, the English you are speaking, the political traditions you inherited, the myths you were raised on, all of it traces a line back to a wooden ship that refused to sink. The beam held in 1620, but it almost didn't.